Morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are
Hello.
you?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. Two noisy dogs in the background.
It's funny, you must have a good mic because I don't hear much of them. I can't hear them at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Little fuckers, did you hear that? She said she can't hear you. Hello. Hello. Oh, we've had lots of cuddles this morning. All right, go away. Go to bed. Go. And then they scamper off and gallop off. Well, I'm glad that the mic's good enough to muffle their sounds.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not always noisy, but it's the running up and down and the barking is very loud.
Yeah, well when you're there. But even when I hear them bark, it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Okay.
Anyway, glad you got your cuppa.
Yes. Second cup of tea for the day.
Yeah.
I slept a bit late. I was in bed till 9, I think, which was lovely.
Ooh.
Wasn't actually asleep. Probably slept till about 8 and then just stayed in bed, which was lovely. Yeah, 2 very physical days at the garden centre, loads of deliveries. We have got so many plants. I mean, it looks amazing. So
Yeah.
lucky to work there. It's really beautiful, but it's chock-a-block full. So,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh.
yeah, my body was a wreck when I got home. My feet were pulsating, my legs were pulsating. I lay in the bath for about 40 minutes, then got a hot water bottle, and then got into bed with my weighted blanket on my legs.
Oh. Oh. Does
Oh,
that
goodness.
Is that the weighted blanket? Because I know some people have seen that on menopause groups. People talk about those weighted blankets. And is that,
It's so interesting. Chris just bought one recently. We've had it for about a week. He was struggling to sleep. Duvet's too hot. He's always sweating. And then I don't know where he came up with this idea. And they're supposed to regulate you, keep you cool and keep you warm. And so we bought it. And although they say it's a king size, if you wanted to cover you both sides, it's kind of like for one person. You can't really, unless you're two very small people, you can't really share it. So he tried it one night, wasn't that impressed. I love Initially it was weird. It was very heavy, like 10 kilograms all in all. So initially it was very heavy and I wasn't sure. But by the third night, and now I'm actually a bit sad that it doesn't feel as heavy as it used to because you get used to it.
yeah.
Um, I don't know if it's making a difference or doing anything, but I just love the feeling of it. It is secure. It is, sometimes when you get underneath the duvet, there's like a few gaps where maybe air or something gets in. This is just like a pastry case on top, enclosing everything.
Yeah.
I like it.
So you have it instead of the quilt.
Yes, I took my duvet off. So at the moment, we're doing what I have suggested for years: is separate covers, because in Austria, when I go visit my sister, they do that. It's a double bed with 2 single quilts, so you each have your own. So I've got the weighted blanket with a blanket on top, because we sleep with the window open, it's a bit cold, and he has another quilt that's much thinner, and that's how we've been sleeping for the last week, and it's wonderful. So I've got
Mm.
my own quilt,
Yeah.
regardless of what it is, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Which is a much nicer way of sleeping than sharing a whatever you share. And then the weight of it's just lovely. Um,
Interesting.
but it definitely doesn't feel as heavy, because in the beginning, like I felt like, oh, I can't even like lift my legs. But now I can. Yeah, you obviously get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, he said that the first, and I don't know if this is related. I know I snore sometimes, not all the times, but I do snore sometimes. And he said that the first night he actually got up and came downstairs because I was snoring so much. No idea whether it's related. The second night I was really bunged up. I remember waking up and putting Vicks in my nose because I couldn't breathe. Um, and that doesn't usually happen or has ever happened. But it's been fine since then. So I don't know.
Mm. Oh,
But
interesting.
it feels good. It feels that, I mean, you see people snuggled in front of the television with one on a chair. Oh my God, you need like 7 people to carry the thing. It's very heavy. There's no snuggling on a chair, but in a bed where it's flat, even just making the bed in the morning, you've got to walk around to the four corners and pull. You can't fling and let it fall down, and you know, it's a big job.
Well,
It's
when you're
lovely.
tired, it's a blanket. I was all right when I got up, but now I'm exhausted. Yeah,
Yes, it's the last thing I need after being at the garden centre. Is a
yeah, it takes making the bed to a whole new level, doesn't it?
It's completely different. Yeah, I kind of wish that there's some, you know, revelationary, like, oh, it does this and that. I don't know. All I know is I look forward to it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. No. Oh, well, I'm interested. It's just that I saw people with talking about hot flushes, and I was thinking, how would something really heavy on you be good when you wanted to fling everything off?
I'd also like to know that.
Yeah.
So, hang on. I wonder if it is regulating me because I haven't been flinging it off. And normally with the duvet, if I'm feeling warm that night for whatever reason, then I will get out of the duvet and fling it off. And I haven't done that with the weighted blanket. Oh, that's one I might keep an eye on. But I don't know about regulating because I was a bit. I mean, we sleep every night, even in winter, ceiling fan on above us and the window open, regardless of how cold it is. And it has been cold the last few days, so I added an extra blanket to the weighted blanket just for warmth. And I think he said it's supposed to regulate you, keep you warm if it's cold, and cold if you're warm. Maybe it works more the other way for menopause. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I shall have a look at it. Anyway,
Yeah.
speaking of bedrooms, you know, that was one of the things we were talking about last time we spoke, wasn't it? Was the whole.
We did.
So where are you with that?
So I haven't done a single thing about it. Not for, he's very happy with it, with the idea of it. It's totally up for it. We just had a really nice weekend. My friend Carol came to visit and I did loads of pottery and I did gardening, and I could have made time for it, but I didn't. I wanted to do pottery and gardening.
Which is great, but you had the conversation.
We had, oh yeah, you don't know that. Yeah, we had the
You
conversation.
hadn't had the conversation when I'd spoken to you.
Yeah, and it was fine. There was nothing. It was a no brainer, no goer, no. Oh my God! I just said to him, babe, I said, I've been thinking about the bedroom. I said, I want to feel more cozy and make it nicer for us. I said, you know, we've been speaking about ages to get the telly off the wall, which doesn't even work. Let's get rid of the telly and the donkey head. Long story, and you know, we've got so many lovely pictures and frames. I said, let's just rejig things a bit. And he said, oh yeah, that sounds great. And I said, and when I've got time, I might just paint the 2 walls because 2 are painted freshly and 2 aren't. He said, yeah. I mean, he doesn't mind because I'm going to do that. Yeah, it was just nothing. He's it's so interesting. And I don't know, again, if it's a gender thing or if it's a me and him thing, but he's just so not. He's not attached to the bedroom. There's no story to the bedroom. That's just where he sleeps. And probably that is the difference between me and him, because aesthetics really matter a lot to me. And I'll give you an example. I can come home if I'm late from work, which I was last night. We had to work a bit of overtime. So he might be on the sofa watching telly. None of the lights are on. Or maybe just the kitchen light is on. I come in and I go to my little diffuser lamp, which makes these beautiful, beautiful colours. First thing I do is switch that on. Then I put on the salt lamp in the corner because it gives a really lovely glow. And for the last month or so, I've been lighting candles, even at night while we watch telly, because it makes me feel good. I like it.
Yeah.
So I come in and do those things, and then I look around me and everything's warmer, more beautiful, more inviting, more luscious. And he doesn't notice it. He's never said, that's lovely with it, it's lovely without it. He will happily come in, sit down, have the kitchen light on. I mean, it shines into the lounge, and just have the television on. Would never do that.
No, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm.
But I'm really glad that you had the conversation, because that was the main thing with it. You know, there was a story, it was really important to you, but you weren't doing anything with it. You were just like, this.
Yeah, I hadn't exactly. I thought it, but again, this is one of those things we spoke about on Tuesday, that thing of where you just accept things because it is how it is, and it doesn't fucking occur to me, whether there's a big story behind it or not, it just doesn't occur to me to do something about it. And this is where the agency thing and lack of agency my whole life has come into, because I've never gone that extra mile for myself to make things the way I would like them to be, because you know, if I hit a spot in the road in life where things are exactly how I like them, that's wonderful. And if I don't, well, then I just have to get through it. I've just never thought that I could tweak my environment or whatever to suit me. And it's funny because I suppose some things I have, and when I'm on my own, I do it for myself. But I suppose it's in relation to other. That's it. It's in relation to other people. You know, I'll do it for myself. I'll make myself more comfortable. But when it comes to external circumstances and people, then I just go along with whatever the status quo is, because that's how it's supposed to be, or that's how it was, or interesting.
Do you think that you'll be a bit more conscious of that and aware of yourself doing it and challenging it now?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm hoping it's as embedded as the other stuff about, you know, choosing myself and what I want for my day and things like that. I see there's lots of opportunity where I can use it, because I haven't said anything for so long. You know, and it's little things. It's really little things, even preferences of what would you like to eat or drink or whatever. Last night was a great example. I mean, he made dinner, which is great. Like I said, I was working late and I really didn't like it. I mean, it tasted fine, but it's not what I like to eat. It's not how I like to eat. We eat very differently. He's a very British male, meat and potatoes.
Right. Okay, I've got it. Yeah.
You can give me a Japanese katsu veggie curry and I'm so fucking happy. And so we're very different in the way we eat and the food, you know. And I felt I'm grateful. I did say, I said, it's gammon. I don't know if I like. I said, remind me, do I like gammon? Because I never remember things. He says, yeah, you said you do. I said, oh, babes, I don't know if I do. I don't think I've decided I don't like gammon now after last night. And it was gammon and it was a cheese sauce, and he's been doing loads of cheese sauces, and I've had enough of cheese sauce, and I don't really like that much cheese sauce. So yeah. I ate half because I was ravenous after work, and it was hot and it was protein, and you know there was broccoli and this is hard. He knows I wanted vegetables, so he steamed broccoli and cauliflower for me, which was great. But then drowned in cheese sauce, which again is not something I would have done. I would have just put my salt and lemon juice on it, and that would have been me. So yes, it's going to be interesting.
But I like that. I think it's really important that you said just small things, because it's always worth reminding yourself that those are the most important things. When we go just a small thing, or I can't impress enough upon anyone that I'm working with that just do the small things, because
you know what, I get it. As you're saying, I feel like my eyes are welling up and I can feel my heart. I'm realizing with my work with you that it's all about the small things. It's got
Yeah.
nothing to do with those major big decisions. It's all those tiny little things again. Like the
Yeah.
meal last night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Oh, I'm glad. I know you get it, and I'm glad you get it. And I mean, I kind of repeat this stuff as well to constantly embed for me too, because sometimes I find I'll get into a bit of a thing about something, uh, and I might not. Well, there's all kinds of different examples. If you just take the relationship one, I might sit on something that's bugging me and sit on it and sit on it and sit on it and sit on it and say nothing and tell myself a story. And eventually I go, what the fuck?
Fuck.
It's always better when you say it. Why?
Yeah.
And then I gird my loins and I say, and it's, oh, it's all fine.
And it's usually a non-event, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like you've got this big fuck off announcement to make, and they're like, okay.
I know.
I mean, he had no reaction to the bedroom thing. He is not attached to it.
No.
Emotionally, spiritually, aesthetically, nothing.
No. Yeah, exactly. So we do that stuff, and and I do it with work too. Like, I mean, I just share this bit with you because I find it fascinating for myself. I find it fascinating.
I like to hear other people's stories. It's helpful.
So the book. I finally finished the book.
Mm.
The only way I finished the book, so at Christmas, I'd committed to write at least 60,000, maybe 80. And I'd written 40,000, but that had been dragged across more than a year. Really
Of
pulled
course.
out.
Of course.
Yeah. And then I had literally a month and a bit to get these extra 20,000 done. So I got a third of the book to write in about a month.
Mm.
And I did that whole, got to get it done. But, not doing it, procrastinate, move things around. Avoid.
Absolutely. I'm queen of procrastination.
Yeah. No, let me do this other thing first, because that's really important. Not.
Yeah, the bathroom really needs granting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I need to go and change my top for some obscure reason. That kind of thing. I mean, that went on and on. And in the end I thought, for fuck's sake, you get that.
Mm.
So first of all, there's that tiny decision that goes, you're going to get this done.
Yeah, enough already.
Yeah, I don't know how. You're going to get this done. And then the small thing was, you know what? Just set a timer, 25 minutes. That's it. Don't commit to more. I think we've had this conversation before.
Yeah, I use this technique. It's powerful.
It really is. Don't commit to more than 25 minutes. And the minute I do that, I go, oh, it's just 25 minutes. Then somehow that creates the breakthrough. And I've done exactly the same thing this last week. So where I finished the book, I'm like, oh no, I'm just kind of floating around for a couple of weeks. Not really doing very much. I mean, not that I don't have things to do. And I realise I'm procrastinating over a project to do with work again. And I'm doing the same thing. And I'm wandering around, finding something else to do. And I get that awareness of, actually, what have you done today? What have you done? And again, I think, okay, do the 25 minutes. And the minute I do that, just do the 25 minutes, then I'm back in it. I'm back in the zone.
I find a combination of, and I know this came to the fore when I was at university, having to write essays and stuff, and writing's not my thing. A combination of the 25 minutes, but also maybe starting somewhere else, because I would find I'm procrastinating, not because I don't want to do it, I'm not interested, but there's something I don't understand, or I don't know, I haven't grasped, or I need to read more, or whatever. Yeah. And I would then, instead of maybe that section of the essay that I really need to actually do more research on, I'll go to something easier that I know about, and I will do that. And it's a bit like the talk we had on Tuesday of like doing that thing and honing your skill, the thing that you're good at.
Yes.
And then approaching the more difficult stuff. And really, as I get older, I realize if I procrastinate about something so much, it's either my goal has changed, I'm not as interested in doing that thing. I've said I want to do X, Y, Z, and maybe actually I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
or there's a sticky bit in it,
Yeah.
and I need to start somewhere else, or I need to sit 25 minutes, sit down and do the research on that bit that's getting me stuck,
Yeah.
so that I can get more information before I start. It's very powerful, that stuff, the 25 minutes thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad it got you going.
Yeah, it works. But it's reminding yourself that it works. I mean, this whole thing is about small things and also remembering what works.
Well, the thing is, I think this is what's always going to come around, is we know the stuff and we've both used it before we were even taught it again now, but you do kind of, that's life, I suppose. You lose it a bit and you come around and you come around, but the more you exercise and practice that thing, the
Yeah.
more it becomes embedded,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm much more, I mean, I still procrastinate my ass off, but I'm much better at the inquiry as to why. You know, it won't last as many days. I'll kind of be able to figure out why. Maybe the room's not set up, so I don't feel comfortable even starting work. Maybe that's it. Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that, because I think to go back to small things, that's a small word, why. And when we approach that gently, the way you're kind of going, why, but not why, more why, what,
Yeah,
looking.
no, I haven't quite got to that why stage yet. It's more like, why? We're kind of halfway between the two. I'm getting there. I'm definitely getting there. The more I practice,
Oh,
it'll be this is interesting. I wonder why I'm procrastinating, and not beat myself up about it. But it's interesting, that voice in your head, I call it the inner bitch or the inner critic or the arsehole. A woman in LA that does some work on Instagram, and she says it's your inner arsehole, which I really like. Yeah, just listening to that a bit more, and then not shunning it, not running away, but having an inquiring mind, asking why, or to tell me more, or just listen to it so you can figure out what's going on.
Yeah. And when you hone your skills, when you're talking about if you got your project, so say, are you relating that to perhaps work, or you're planning something in work, and you
if everything really can even be an example is even just my pottery at the moment. I'm working this weekend and got a couple of calls I need to make, and then I'm just going to do pottery for the rest of the day. And the bed's not made, the kitchen's not tidy, and it's going to stay like that till we go to bed and Chris gets home tonight. So the idea was I was going to wake up a bit earlier today and start, because I've got quite a bit to do and I was quite excited to do it. And even now I'm kind of putting it off a bit, and I know it's because the next step is something I haven't done before. The chicken is now leather hard, so I can carve into it and I can use my tools, and I haven't done that before on a particular shape. I haven't done this particular one. I'm not too sure where the markings need to go, whether they need to be small or large. I kind of wish I had a test piece of clay to do it on, but I don't have another piece that is leather hard, so I can't practice. I'm kind of making scratchings at the bottom of the chicken. So all this leads to procrastination, but now I'm understanding it better. So I don't want to while away my day and make myself busy and not get time to do it at all. I'm just going to have to sit and face it. So I've already decided there's a particular ceramicist that I like, and the chicken is based on his work. I really like the way it's kind of like abstract animals and abstract chickens, and I'm going to look at his work a bit more and maybe do a little bit of sketching. As proportions, I need to know where those markings are going to be. Am I going to start at the top or the bottom? But all that stuff, and it's really nice to be able to speak through it, because this could be work, it could be a project at home, it could be absolutely anything. It's the same thing. If you're not clear, for me, if I'm not clear about what is expected of me or what I'm doing, then it leads to procrastination. And then
Yeah.
I personally give myself a hard time because I'm procrastinating and I'm so crap and I never do anything and I never finish anything, I procrastinate. But actually, there's a reason I'm learning for my procrastination. It's either I don't want to do that thing anymore, it's not important to me anymore, or there's something I don't know. I need to go back to the small things. There's obviously one little piece of the puzzle that needs inquiry. I need to figure it out, and then it will all slot into place again.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Completely. So talk me through this chick, because it was interesting. I was going to think, okay, the next thing I want to talk about is your pottery and maybe the gardening as well. But as you brought it up, so what is it that you've done so far?
I'm going to show you.
Oh, good.
I'm going to show you. This is all new to me as well. So you work with clay, with tools, sharp tools, when it's leather hard. And leather hard is basically when you can pick it up and turn it around and it doesn't lose its shape.
Yeah.
You don't want it to go over leather hard, because then when you use your tools, it's like makes it grainy and you don't have sharp lines of it.
Yeah.
So I've got cream on my hands, so it's very weird. It started off round with a head, and at the moment it looks like a crab. But this was a ball of two halves that I put together, and then I battered into shape.
Yeah.
It's pretty heavy, and again, I don't know. I'm not sure how much I need to take away from the walls because it is very heavy. But basically, there's going to be a little beak.
Yeah.
There will be an eye that I'll put back on top of there, and then I need to start making the grooves, and it's abstract, so there will be grooves to indicate the feathers.
Yeah.
And the grooves you can't see.
I can see. Yeah. Are those the feet?
No, that's cute. Actually, I will. Thank you. I'm going to put feet under there. That's going to be at the bottom because it's a totem pole for the garden. So there will be a hole through there, a hole through the top, and it's going to sit with a pole going through, and there's going to be quite a few different pieces on top of each other.
Nice.
This is the second one of like a 5-foot pole, 4-foot pole. So yes, at the moment that's the upside, and I decided I'm going to do 4. So the artist I'm looking at makes this part really narrow, comes up like that, and there's one head and one head. But I've decided it's going to, from both sides, you're going to have 2 heads. So there'll be a beak there, and then on the other side it's exactly the same, a beak and a beak. But it's the markings. It's not so much, because this is abstract, it doesn't really matter what the shape is, but it's the markings on here that are going to indicate the ending of the chicken's head, the beginning of its body, so somewhere around there. Then the feathers, and whether the feathers are a row at the bottom like that, or whether the feathers are higher and it comes into where the face is. And it's a big deal because I've never done this before. And of course, surely this is the thing. You want it to be, which is silly. It's my first one. I want it to be perfect. I'm scared of making that mark in case it's not exactly what it should look like or what I want it to look like. But it's the first one. I'm sure by the time I do my 30th one, I'll know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But it's the first one, and I'm sure the next one's going to look very different. And I've decided I'm going to make a series of them.
Yeah.
So this is the first one. Oh my God, it's so heavy. I have to scrape away. So that's my very weird chicken. And that chicken started off with a body, a round ball, and a head. And I was going to see what happened. And then I battered it into this. What is that? That's like a rectangle.
Yeah.
My little abstract chicken.
So I really like that because you're good at you know it won't be as good as the second. Well, arguably it won't. Sometimes that naivety can be really appealing, can't it?
Yes, and it might just be the sweetest. It might end up being my favorite chicken, even though I make another 1,000, you
Like your
know.
accidental vase.
Yes,
I mean, look at
exactly.
how
And I
cool that
love
was.
that vase.
Yeah.
And you know that recently I've been looking at even this mug. When I first got it back, I was a bit embarrassed and I hated it or whatever. It's become my favorite mug. It says love on it. I mean, for God's sake. It's a perfect holding size. It's my favorite out of all the mugs we've got, just because of it's good to hold like this. And I've been looking at my other pieces that I made like a year ago, thinking, actually, you know, I think when you first look at them, and I've heard other artists do the same, when you first look at something, you're quite critical, but
Mm-hmm.
then after a while, it
Mm.
grows on you. But going back to it, this is procrastinating and the starting. I am scared to carve into that because actually it's leather hard now. If I take something out, I can't actually fill up that hole. Every marking I make now has to stay like that, or I suppose it's like a painting or a drawing. I could just add things and change it a bit, but I can't put the clay back in. When I scoop the clay out now, that is the mark, and that is nerve-wracking.
So what happens if you make the marks and they're different to how you maybe envisaged or planned them? What happens then?
I'm going to have to remember all the potters that I belong to a group on Facebook, Budding Potters, and they all talk about how pottery teaches you to just go with it because you never know what you're going to get. And I really have to be open. And maybe all art is like that. I don't know, maybe all creative processes, but especially with pottery. I mean, mostly I think they're talking about the firing, the glazing and the firing, because you just don't know what it's going to come out as. And also that's going to shrink. I can't remember how much that is going to shrink. So I'm hoping it's not going to be like a chicken that fits in my hand, in the palm of my hand.
I don't think it's shrink that much.
So I think I'll put up a poster today. I just have to remind myself to be playful and to enjoy it. And it's that attaching too much, not importance to it. It's that perfection thing, isn't it? Which is always what procrastination is about, really. It's got to be perfect or I won't do it.
What's the scariest, what was the scariest piece you did before this?
Oh yeah, it's a piece that I'm don't like that much, but I've kept it because it's quite naive and sweet. Last year in lockdown, my pottery teacher gave us all a challenge, myself and Noah, to throw a 3-pound pot or vase. Normally we use I think we had thrown with 2 pounds worth of clay before. I mean, it's only that big, the potters on the pottery throwdown are like that. So it was quite a big piece for us. I still haven't thrown a 3-pound again, and to make it as tall as possible. That was probably the last one I was invested in because I had a very particular outcome. I suppose this is very specific. Other pieces have always been, well, I hope it's a pot, but maybe it will be a jug, or okay, now it's a planter because, whatever. I think that one and this one were specific. I wanted to be this, and I wanted to look like this.
Right. And did it?
No, I'm really pleased. I looked at it the other day. I'm really pleased with the height of it. It's the tallest vase that I've found. And actually the diameter was pretty good. I haven't done that again. The decoration on the outside, I copied a Brunera, a plant that I've got, and it didn't look anything like it. And the glazing wasn't very good. It was quite basic. But that's how you learn.
Yeah.
And
So
I've got it, and I will still use it. It's not a favorite piece, but I suppose I love it because it was my first £3 pot, and the first time I tried
yeah,
a particular decoration like that. And it's not ugly. It's just not the best thing I've made.
yeah, yeah. When are you at your best? Let's just move away from the pottery for a moment. When you're at your best, when you're planning out a class, for example, of training, or even just like meeting someone for the first time and you're doing some OT with them, when are you at your best? When you do you have a set idea of how it's all going to flow?
Yeah, I bounce between the two. Normally, my personality is I need to know what's happening and where I'm going. I like to be prepared. You know,
Okay.
I wouldn't meet or teach without being prepared. That is when I feel more comfortable. But obviously, life is not always like that, and I'm trying to let go and trust myself to go with the flow more. So, for instance, with the workshops that I did recently, of course, yes, I prepared for them. But as I got into them, well, it's preparation first and then it's letting go, because I did prepare for them. And then by the second one, I could see how I didn't have to hold on to the script so tightly because I knew it was familiar.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I could see how it goes. But I know that my go-to is I like to be prepared. And this is a big difference between Chris and myself. He's a lastminute.com thing, and I want everything packed up and ready to go the day before. So, you know, we're going away for the weekend, so we don't have anything to do when we wake up, but he will do everything last minute. I'm definitely a planner
Yeah.
and want everything laid out. I
Yeah.
want to do things properly. That's why I say to him, he doesn't do things properly, but then he gets things done. Very interesting between the two of us, because I think we're learning from one another. But I think my thing of perfection and wanting everything to go a certain way is a hindrance
Mm.
sometimes. Other times it's really good,
Mm.
because I do things well,
Yeah.
work-wise or whatever, because I'm prepared. But maybe in like my own personal Rose life, I could be a little bit less rigid.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just interesting. And I think with your pot, I can tell that you've begun to already think through, okay, how can I make myself feel comfortable with this and do a better job by preparing with the sketching.
Mm,
You've already worked that through in your mind, right? Let's do some sketching.
mm.
That's great. Then I think,
Or is that a form of procrastination?
well, based on what you've said about what you like, what do you think? What's your gut feeling?
No, I need to sketch. I need
Right,
to
you need to
see. Yeah.
sketch, but there's your
Mm.
answer. Okay, so that was easy.
I like that. If only it was also easy.
Well, the thing is, sometimes it really is. It's again going back to the small things. When we're doing that, oh, is it this? Just stop for a second, maybe close your eyes and ask the question of yourself. Is it true? I mean, this comes from Byron Katie in the work.
I was reading her last night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, you just have to close your eyes and go, is it true? Is this procrastination? The answer will come. And you know the difference between
Yes.
the answer I think it should be and the answer it really is.
Mm, mm,
Simple.
mm. God, that is simple. Yeah.
I know. We love simple. So that piece, great. The sketching, you've got a plan, that's going to make you feel more comfortable. Then the next piece, from what you've said to me, it sounds like you get most satisfaction, despite the fact that you say, no, I'm someone that's kind of ordered and I like to know how things are going. I'm not feeling that that's who you are to the core. I feel like that's who you tell yourself maybe you ought to be to some extent. There's always a continuum, isn't there?
Mm.
Because what you've told me, and I'm just shooting in the dark here really, but
Go
what
for
you
it.
said about the pottery, like the pieces that you've grown to love have been the pieces where you've not loaded expectation onto them.
That's true.
And this chicken, you're creating a totem pole for the garden,
Mm,
which is an entirely personal thing.
mm,
It's, you know, how it turns out is how it turns out. You're going to love it, whatever it. And I think what will happen is you'll just adapt to it. If you go, oh, that wasn't entirely how I was planning those feathers to look, but hey, let's go with it and
mm,
adapt to it, because it's abstract as well. You
mm,
clearly chose an abstract.
mm, mm.
So if I were a betting woman, and I'm not, I'd lay money that you'll just adapt to whatever. If you put the mark in a place that wasn't the planned place, you'll adapt to it. You what choice have you got? You'll just adapt.
And the thing is that I know that it's once I do put the mark in the place where I actually didn't want it to go, and then I adapted. It's the running up to that, it's that starting
Yeah,
point, and it's a bit like before the 25 minutes. It's the lead up where the procrastination reigns. Not that I'm procrastinating loads, but I have thought of it. Where the thoughts are there, and actually once you start, then it kind of falls away. The podcast is on, the dogs are there, I've got a cup of tea, I'm happy. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
sun shining, beautiful day, I'm doing pottery. I mean, it couldn't be better. But it is weird. It's that getting started, I suppose,
yeah.
because there's this fixed idea. But actually, once I sit down, and I mean, I've had 3 beaks on them already that I've taken off, because in the beginning stage, you could really add. Um, and I had there whatever's, what's the thing called?
Oh, I don't know. Comb?
Comb,
No,
comb on.
that's on
And
the cockerel.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. But the chickens also have a,
Oh, do they? Oh,
anyway.
right. Yeah.
So that thing went on, that thing came off, went on, came off. And I enjoyed all of that. So I think once I'm started, I'm fine. It's just, and I think it's like that with everything, Shirley. I was just
It is.
thinking of for workshops, it's with everything.
Yeah.
Once I open my mouth, I mean, me who would never do public speaking, I would have rather jumped off a bridge than done public speaking. Now I give talks and I do the workshops. Once I open my mouth, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Once I start pottery, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But all that fucking tension beforehand,
Yeah.
which does or doesn't lead to procrastination. And that, I'm assuming, is just expectations that I'm placing on myself. Hmm.
Mm.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's just that before stage. Do you know, I had such an interesting thing on Wednesday. So I had this really long weekend and it was great. And my bestie was here and I sent her home with a car boot full of goat and alpaca poo and chicken manure to London. It would have been so fun if she was stopped by the police. She's got an allotment, so she was very happy to take it with her. But we were all relaxed. We had a lovely weekend. So Wednesday came, had to go back to garden centre. Was like, oh, I wish I didn't have to, but actually it's fine. Got in the car driving there. And because it had been cold at night, I knew that we have to fleece all the plants. There's only like about 3 plants that they need fleecing at the moment. It takes sometimes it can take an hour and a half to 2 hours to fleece everything at the end of the day. If
Yeah.
it's going to be super cold, because it needs 3 layers.
Yeah.
Last night it needed 1 layer. And I was just aware that I'm starting at 10 in the morning. I don't start anymore when everybody else does. So the other team would have had the job of defleecing in the morning, which is a big job in itself. And riding to work and feeling shitty about myself that I start at 10 o'clock and I'm not there to help and pour them, that they've got to defleece in the morning, and I kind of swan in at 10 o'clock and everything's being be fleeced already. But I started speaking to myself in the car as these thoughts were coming up, and I was asking myself, like, where does this come from? And it's because I don't want them to think I'm not pulling my weight. And I thought of you. I thought, what if you were there? You would have slapped me and burst out laughing, because everybody knows I more than pull my weight. Do you mean? I overcompensate. I overdo everything just in case anybody thinks I'm not pulling my weight.
Yeah.
I'm always pulling my weight, and at work, so I thought, okay, that's really interesting. I'm not pulling my weight, and what if they thinking, but Rose starts at 10, and and why, and that's not fair, whatever. And then I just managed to trace it all back to, is I didn't want them to be disappointed in me. And this is my big thing. It's the last thing I want on earth, is for anybody to be disappointed in me. And then I traced it back to my dad.
Yeah.
And him being the arsehole, and him really being the one that should apologize, but me backpedaling and doing whatever I could to make sure that he wasn't cross with me or disappointed in me,
Yeah.
or wouldn't stop speaking to me. And I don't know if he did that more than once, but once was enough to scar me for life. And I wish he was alive to ask him, because maybe it only ever happened once. And you can't be sure of your what we think is our reality is really only our perception of reality and childhood and family and stuff. Because when I speak to my siblings, we were at the same table, same house, same year. We've all got completely different experiences.
Yeah.
So I don't know if my dad did that all the time, if he did it for once and it was enough, because I'm a super sensitive child. But that was all in my head. And by the time I got to work, I had it sorted out. I thought, no, I did a really good job. Pull my weight, and I need to start at 10 because I need less hours because of my pelvic floor, and I'm seeing the physio on Monday, and that's important to me.
Brilliant. I'm so glad you sorted it out. That's absolutely brilliant. I love that. I love that you sorted it out all by yourself. Nobody there.
Yeah. Me too. Well, you were sitting here somewhere with the hand ready to slap me.
I just want to, before I let you, because I'm mindful of time, I don't need to get you to relax. But just one thing I wanted to say, which is going to be a bit wacky. When you said about the clay and the expectation you put upon yourself, I wonder whether you could just shift that in the expectation you're putting on the chicken and the clay.
Oh, poor chicken and clay. It's funny saying that, because it's only a piece of fucking clay, and I'm thinking, oh, that would be awful to have that expectation on the chicken. I mean, I already said, oh, poor chicken. Meanwhile, I do that to myself, put the expectation on myself. So I'm feeling sorry for an animate piece of fucking clay that's in the shape of a square that looks like a crab at the moment.
So does that help though? Shift, like, I'm placing the expectation for perfection on a piece of clay.
Yeah.
It will be what it is.
Exactly, and enjoy.
Yeah. Clay is not going to be. No, I'm sorry. Listen, I think you put that mark in the wrong place, love. You want to start that again?
That's really good. I can't wait to get started now. That's really good. I can't believe I felt sorry for a piece of lump of clay. Yeah, the stories we tell us. I googled Byron Katie because I've got her book, Loving What Is, and the work. And then I went onto her website and I watched one of these monthly or weekly Zoom things that she's doing. Gosh, she's an attractive woman. I mean, she must be in her 70s.
78.
Lord, she looked good. And that hair and oh my God, she looks delicious.
Yeah.
I love the way she speaks. She's completely bonkers. But it is all about stories we tell ourselves. It's all about story plates and everything. And I was lying in bed and thinking, actually, I'm just in bed, a body on a bed with the ceiling, with walls, with the dogs in their beds. And if I I look at it objectively, that is what's happening. And then subjectively, it's all the other things, all the things that are placed on top of it. And that is what makes everything so heavy. But really, otherwise, if you objectively, I'm looking at the screen, talking to you, I've got a blanket on my legs, the sun is shining. It's amazing when you strip it down.
Well, talking stripping down, let's just get you comfortable.
Yay!
Lose any more time.
Right.
Not that we're losing time, you know,
I'm hoping the what's his name? The delivery guy's not going to come.
Oh, I hope not. Are you expecting something? Well, if he does.
Yes, carving tools. They're probably going to arrive at the end of the day, but it's this specific Kemper ribbon carving tools that would be perfect if they arrive in time for the chicken. But otherwise, I'm going to make it work.
Chicken's going to love it. Right. So as you get yourself nice and snuggly and cozy, just nestle into whatever. Maybe there's a story or no story. Maybe you can settle in and allow yourself to be embraced in a glow, a lovely glow that maybe comes in from the light outside. Perhaps a glow you imagine from lighted candles, the warmth of a salt lamp, or maybe a glow that you feel on the inside reflecting and realizing there's a glow that you create, that is you. Maybe you're the glow that reflects on the sun and the lamp and the warmth. It's those small things, just grasping the tiniest fragment of a thought, a feeling, an opportunity to focus just for a moment, choosing a thought that works and then gone. From this moment to the next moment, the past is gone. The future will never arrive. Here you are in this moment. Nothing. Sometimes just allowing nothing to exist allows you to contemplate something of who you are. Perhaps your mind sketches out a framework of desire, of what is. What is you sitting comfortably in the chair, just allowing yourself to notice what you notice. That might be that inner glow, that lovely glow. Might be the sunlight filtering through the window, inviting. Warmer days will come. A luscious sense of learning, effortless, easy learning. Honing skills you already have and allowing yourself to bask in the glow of inquiry, of self. Nothing else matters. Sometimes there are moments of extreme clarity, simplicity. What is you. You go with it. Open up to yourself. Go the extra mile for yourself. It doesn't matter where that mile goes or how. You just allow yourself to be nothing, something, in command of nothing but yourself, demanding, making expectations of nothing, just allowing, inquiry, and carving out an idea, enjoying the process of carving out ideas and honing skills and grasping, no longer grasping, holding in your hand everything you will ever need. Nothing. There is nothing you will ever need or want that you do not already possess at the heart and center of you. That glow, the inquiry, the clarity just slots in the learning. Nothing matters but you and being nothing but what you are, which is something, just allows you to know you are completely expert in yourself, complete, warm and inviting, discovering you're better at you than you realized you were. You may not know what's going to happen next, but you'll be you now. For now is all that ever exists, and you are you now as you were you then, and you are you now again. You, carved out and clear, tweaking your environment to suit you, knowing who you are, not having to be anything. Just allowing yourself to settle in to the glow with no story, nothing to grasp or understand but what you already know. The learning you have of yourself. And you can choose to sketch out new stories that work but remain centered, feeling the glow of who you are now. Everything you need to be right now. Everything you will ever need possessed right now, clear. So that familiarity with self begins as you get started on the delicious journey of the inner work, nothing changing, just learning, discovering the joy and the drama and the delight, the lusciousness of you as you are. And that piece of clay will be, whatever it becomes, a reflection of you being you. It might be exciting to discover just what it becomes as it becomes a reflection, an expression of nothing but you. So allow yourself to feel that glow once again, that lovely glow. Maybe you reflecting and expanding, shedding your light onto the light around you, or feeling the softness of the light coming in, warmer and inviting. Go with it. Remain open. It doesn't matter what you do or where you go. You are you. You are nothing and everything. Perfection. So take a moment to capture the brilliant creativity of this. Now, you. And when you're ready, just slowly Allow the external light to re-enter and connect with the internal light. And slowly open your eyes.
Oh, oh, lovely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, excited to get going on my chicken.
Well, I know. I'm excited too.
I know I'll be able to show you loads by the time Tuesday comes around.
I bet you will.
It should be, well, it will be finished today
Amazing.
because why not?
Yeah, why not?
Thanks, Shirley. That was really lovely. I do really love those hypnotherapy sessions. I love that that you use my language and that they personalized. It's fabulous. I've never had anything like it.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah, really good. Really, really good. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. I like it too. I felt I was becoming a little bit poetic there. I thought, where are you going with this?
You're often very poetic, darling girl.
Oh,
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah,
oh,
there's a good rhythm and the analogies that come out, and there's always a very good flow to them.
oh, nice, nice.
Very good at it.
Thank you.
Thank
Well,
you.
it's pleasurable. It's like, my words are your clay. It's like, and I don't know where they're going.
Well, they land, they find the right place.
And that's what will happen with your clay.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to go get, I'm so excited, it arrived yesterday. I bought pens, colored pens, so that I can do sketching. I bought an A3 pad that arrived, and I bought a drawing board, a small one that tilts, so that you can work. It's really hard to work flat, and I haven't opened it. It was here when I got home last night, so I'm going to set it up now, put on some music, and sketch my chicken. Cannot fucking wait.
Oh, nice, nice.
I mean, what a cool day am I going to have? That's it.
Lovely. Well, that sounds gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Yes, that's all I'm doing all day, and then back to work tomorrow and Monday. So
yeah,
rest my body, sit down and sketch and chicken.
That sounds.
Oh, if I could stay awake at that.
Yeah, go and get yourself another tea or a coffee.
Oh yes, no, definitely. Thank you. Have a super duper weekend.
You too. Yeah.
Hope the sun shines. I'm not too sure what's going to happen. It's shining now, so we'll see.
Yeah. What was I going to say? So I'm pleased that you've been looking at Byron Katie. Did you want to, because we were talking about your mother on Tuesday, did you want to use the Byron Katie technique where she's got her worksheet and we could go through that?
Yeah, let's give it a go. That could be interesting, because I have done it on my brother, the one that was in rehab and is now working for the rehab place. And it was interesting. So yeah, I think I would like to. And I listened to her online, so I got a better idea of how it works as well last night. And I think it would be really interesting.
All right then. Well, if you get the download of the first worksheet from her, that you don't need to do more than that, because we'll do the rest in the session. But just the bit where you're venting in a very petty way, you know how that works.
Yeah.
as Byron,
I can do petty.
Yeah, as Katie says, be as petty as you possibly can. Allow that inner arsehole full reign.
Yeah, to just go for it. Yeah. No, petty, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll see you Tuesday.
Yeah, take care.
All right, thanks. Bye. Thank you. Bye.